안녕하세요. 밴쿠버 인사이트입니다. 터커 칼슨의 채널에 초대받은 맥심 버니얼이 현재 캐나다에 대한 사실을 그대로 알려주고 있습니다. 맥심 버니얼은 캐나다 전 보수당 의원으로 2006년부터 2019년까지 국회의원을 역임했으며 그는 스티븐 하퍼 정부에서 산업부, 외교부 장관을 지냈으며 자유지상주의와 대량 이민 반대를 주장하며 2018년 피플스 파티 오브 캐나다를 설립했습니다. 소개해드릴 영상에서 버니얼은 저스틴 트루도 정부의 정책이 대량 이민과 사회 통합 실패, 그리고 연간 130만 명의 대량 이민은 주거 위기와 사회적 갈등을 낳았고 이민자들은 캐나다 사회에 통합되지 않고 이민자 모국의 문화와 종교를 캐나다 안에서 유지하며 영어를 할 줄 몰라서 가치 공유 부족으로 고립된 커뮤니티가 형성되고 있습니다. 캐나다 국민 70%가 대량 이민을 반대하지만 자유당, 보수당 모두 정치인들은 표심을 위해 이를 지속하고 있습니다. 가장 중요한 정책이 빠지고 구체적인 선거 공약은 어느 당도 없습니다. 한 가지 알려드릴 내용은 현재 토론토에서 2023년 10월 이후부터 팔레스타인 지지 시위가 빈번하며 일부는 과격한 행동으로 기물파손, 반유대주의 논란으로 이어졌습니다. 그러나 주수장도, 시장도, 어떤 정치인도, 경찰도 개입하지 않고 있습니다. 이는 정치인들이 이민자 및 소수 커뮤니티의 표를 의식해 강경 대응을 피하고 있는 사례입니다. 캐나다 헌장은 표현의 자유를 보장하며 평화로운 시위를 법적으로 보호받고 경찰은 명백한 불법 행위인 폭력, 재산 파괴가 없으면 개입을 최소화하고 있습니다. 그러나 2022년 1월 15일에 있었던 코비드 자유호송대와 비교를 해보시기 바랍니다. 1월 29일 수백 대의 차량과 수천 명의 보행 시위대가 의회 언덕에서 집회를 열었습니다. 그러나 2022년 2월 14일 저스틴 트루도 총리는 비상사태법 이머전시 액트를 캐나다 역사상 처음으로 발동해 법 집행기관에 특별 권한을 부여했습니다. 이를 통해 은행 계좌가 동결되고 시위대는 강제 해상 등이 가능해졌습니다. 2024년 연방법원은 비상사태법 발동이 표현의 자유와 불합리한 수색, 압수로부터의 보호를 침해했다고 판결했습니다. 그러나 정부는 이를 항소하였습니다. 2025년 4월 주요 조직자인 타마리 리치와 크리스 바버가 오타와 시에서 미스체프 혐의로 유죄 판결을 받았습니다. 트루도 정부의 강경 대응은 지지와 비판을 동시에 받았습니다. 보수당의 피에르 폴리에르는 시위를 지지하며 백신 의무화 반대 법안을 추진했으나 2023년 의회에서 부결되었습니다. 여기서 한 가지 의문점은 보수당 피에르 폴리에르가 내세운 공약이 앞으로 과연 의회를 통과할 수 있을까입니다. 현재 상원 의원은 90%가 전 총리 트루도가 직접 뽑아서 의회에 앉혀놓은 사람들입니다. 다음 영상은 캐나다인들이 먼저가 되기 위해서 무엇이 먼저인지를 알려주는 영상입니다.
Now that Trudeau is gone or sort of gone, like, what was that? Who was he working for, actually?
I can tell you, Tucker, he was not working for us, for Canadians. He did destroy our country economically, socially, and culturally. What he did to us during COVID-19, that was an authoritarian government. I don't know if you remember that, but I did an interview with you after.
Very well.
Yeah, I was handcuffed and put in jail for non-crime just in the summer of 2021 because I was speaking about freedom in a park in Manitoba. And he did impose on us also a vaccine passport. I wasn't able to travel across the country because I'm not vaxxed, But what he did to our country.
Do you regret not being vaxxed?
Oh, no.
Do you ever think I really wish I'd had the COVID vaccine?
No. That was the best decision in my life.
Me too. I totally agree. Sorry, not to make others feel bad. So he went about it so systematically. He got the government to pay for killing your citizens through the MAIDS program. Like everything he did seemed designed to destroy Canada, like on purpose. If you wanted to destroy the country, you would do what he did. Why do you think he did that?
You know, he is a socialist for sure. and a globalist. And the World Economic Forum for him was, the great thing, and they were promoting socialism and globalism, and nobody imposed that philosophy on us, on Canadians. Trudeau was very pleased with that, and he decided to put legislation into place, into force in Canada, in line with that philosophy. And, for him, he was spending money like it was not a big deal. Actually, what he did, he was able to double the debt that we accumulated over 148 years. He was able to double that in 10 years. So our debt
doubled the debt in 10 years.
The debt that we accumulated over 148 years, it took him 10 years to do that. So the debt was $600 billion, and he doubled that to $1,200 billion. And he said, deficits are okay. When you have a deficit, it's a way to stimulate the economy. But we know that, you cannot stimulate the economy with borrowed money. It's a sedative for the economy. So now in Canada, we are I believe, in a recession. Our standard of living is going down. Actually, what he did with mass immigration, that was, his dad was a big proponent of multiculturalism. Every culture are equal. So, and he did that in the 1970s, that philosophy. And now we have a legislation in Canada promoting multiculturalism. But add that with mass immigration, you have the perfect storm. You have people who are coming to our country, and you don't ask them to integrate into our society. You can keep your culture. You don't integrate into our society. We live in ghettos, and we have ghettos in Canada also. So a lot of people came to Canada, and the economy was growing because of the growth of the population. But, the population was growing faster than the economy. So our GDP per capita went down the last 10 years. So we are poorer today in Canada if you look at what we had 10 years ago. And it's because of Trudeau. It's because of mass immigration. It's because of big spendings. That's the legacy of Justin Trudeau.
Tens of thousands of Canadians killed themselves during his time. I mean, if there's one measure of happiness, it's like you don't kill yourself. Yeah. So if you have Canadians killing themselves, tens of thousands of them, then that. So my question is, why isn't he in jail? And we're all excited to send all these people to jail. Andrew Tate must go to jail or whoever. But I don't understand why Justin Trudeau's not in jail for destroying an entire nation.
But the good news right now is not in government anymore, but we still have the Liberals. But we need to have a real inquiry about everything that happened during COVID-19. These people must be responsible. And you're right. And now they are not. It's like they want to turn the page about what they did to us during the COVID hysteria. For them, that was okay. That was not okay. We had a Charter of Rights. They did not respect our Charter of Rights. And, look at the Freedom Convoy. The Freedom Convoy. For me, that was not a protest. That was a celebration of who we are as a Canadian.
Yes.
We decided, okay, now we will end that authoritarian government peacefully. And what Trudeau did, he invoked the Emergencies Act.
Yes.
That's an act that he used in times of war against us, against freedom fighters. And, but at the end, we were successful because, a couple of months after that Freedom Convoy, all these authoritarian measures, they disappeared. And these politicians were not saying it's because of the Freedom Convoy, but it was because of the Freedom Convoy. People were fed up at that time. And, but I cannot understand why everybody is saying in Canada, that's okay. Just forget that. Forget what happened to you during COVID-19. We needed to do that because to protect yourself. But we know that vaccine was not safe and effective. And we are still promoting the mRNA vaccine in Canada right now.
We're doing it in the United States too.
Yeah,
and I don't understand why.
Yeah, and our proposal on that is a moratorium. We want a moratorium on immigration, a pause on immigration, no more immigrants for a couple of years until we fix the problem of mass immigration, and also a moratorium on these mRNA vaccine.
We would like that too. You never kind of get what you really want, do you?
Yeah, but you need to fight for that. You
Yes.
need to fight for that.
So what is Trudeau doing? I mean, there are many people responsible, I would say. I actually am one of the only Americans who's interested in Canada and really loves Canada because I live near Canada. And so I've followed it, and I think there are a number of people, not just in Trudeau's party, but in his coalition party, who are responsible. But he's the most responsible. So what is he doing now?
I don't know. I don't want to know, Tucker.
But he just gets to walk around Canada free?
Oh, he's still free.
They
Actually.
put people in prison for opposing him.
But I can tell you, he needs a lot of security when he's.
I bet he does.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look, we are fed up with the Liberals, and right now in that electoral campaign, it's all about. There's only one subject now. It's not. I wanted to this election to be on mass immigration. That must be the most important. It is destroying our way of life, And when I'm speaking about mass immigration, people don't understand that last year in Canada, we had 1.3 million foreigners coming to our country for a country of 40 million people. That is mass immigration. And
that's an invasion.
97% of the growth of our population last year was coming from mass immigration. This is the replacement theory, but
It was not a theory, it's a reality. The Canadian population, like the American population, the European population, replaced.
That's what is happening in our country right now. And, the immigrants that are coming here, or the foreigners that are coming to Canada, are coming from countries that doesn't share our Western civilization values. So it's more difficult for them, and they don't speak English or they don't speak French. They cannot integrate into our society. That's a big problem. That's a huge problem. And now you have the housing crisis because of that. Too many people, all these people need a roof. So, but the solution is, it's a question of supply and demand. You just have to stop the demand, and that will solve the housing crisis.
Of course.
But Poilievre, the leader of the Conservative Party, like the Republican Party here in the U.S., but they're not conservative. They're conservative in name only.
Pierre Poilievre.
Pierre Poilievre is the leader of the Conservative Party.
He seems like a true fraud to me, like a pretty sinister fraud.
But, he's doing a campaign against Trump. They don't want to do a campaign to help Canadians and put our country first. Now it's all about, the tariffs, and, we need to do counter tariffs. But that's killing us. Because
How about stopping immigration from India and Pakistan? Is that
first, please, yes, first. That's.
But that's not even a consideration because
no, they are pandering. They are pandering. The Liberals and the Conservatives are pandering to these ethnic communities for votes. So. That's why they don't speak about ending mass immigration. Actually, Poilievre said we need to have 250,000 foreigners a year, plus international students, plus temporary foreign workers, plus refugees. That will be about 1.5 million foreigners over 3 years. That is mass immigration. In the middle of a mass immigration crisis, we cannot afford that. We cannot. That's destroying.
So can I say, again, just to the question I asked about Trudeau, I'm going to ask the same about Poilievre. Who's paying him to do that? That's not, no one's benefiting. Maybe people from Bangladesh are benefiting. Okay, I'm not against them, by the way. I understand. I'd move to Canada too if I lived in Bangladesh. But no one in Canada is benefiting from this. So why would Poilievre and Trudeau be embracing the same policy that everyone hates and is destroying Canada?
Yeah, you have a point there. 70% of the population in Canada, the last survey, are saying no to mass immigration. We must end mass immigration. So your question is, if these politicians want to be elected. How come they are not listening to the population?
Exactly.
Because there's 343 ridings in Canada, and that's a parliamentary system. So they're looking at different ridings, and they want to have support in different ridings to be able to have a majority. But in a lot of ridings, there's a majority of foreigners or immigrants, and they want to have their support. But the new immigrants, so they are asking for having their family here in Canada with them. When I'm speaking about family, it's not the immediate family. A mother, a father, and children. No, it is, your uncle, your grandmom, granddad, brothers, sisters, so the entire family, and they want them here in Canada. So they're saying, okay, reunification of family will do that for you. You'll be able to bring all your family here in Canada. So because of the electoral system, they're looking to win some ridings to have a majority. And that's why they are not speaking for Canadians. They're speaking for different people in different ridings where they have a majority there.
So what you're really saying is that a democratic system does not produce democratic results. We have these democratic systems throughout the West that have for 50 years done the opposite of what their populations want.
Yeah.
So it's a democratic system without democracy. That's the way it feels to me.